Hi, and welcome to BremSter Puzzles, a channel dedicated to showing you the fun that can be found in the world of variant Sudoku. Today we're going to be exploring the killer cage constraint, also known as the cages constraint more often, historically called the killer cages constraint. And to do that, we're going to be doing that using a puzzle called Shattered Windows by AnalyticalNinja. The killer cages constraint, there's been a bit of a movement recently to just call it the cages constraint, because while it's been called killer Sudoku for over 20 years, is my understanding, killer has sort of a negative connotation, and there's a lot of push to try and sort of make Sudoku more school child friendly, and the concept of killer is not necessarily something that you want to use to introduce basic arithmetic into to young school age children. Yet the mathematics involved in this type of Sudoku is actually something that has been working in some schools. So just calling it cages is something that we've been doing, in case you're wondering why this is happening. But Shattered Windows by AnalyticalNinja is the puzzle we'll be looking at today. So how do the rules on this one work? So normal Sudoku rules. So into every box, into every row, and into every column, the digits 1 to 9 must be placed without repetition. Then we've got the cages rule. So digits in cages sum to the total in the corner. So the sum of these two digits will be 13. The sum of these two digits will be 15. The sum of these three digits will be 6. They're the rules of the puzzle. And with that, we should be able to solve it. There is a pattern called Windoku that uses these digits in these positions. I'm not sure this puzzle is going to use the Windoku rule set. I'm going to assume it doesn't, and at some point in the future I will almost certainly cover a Windoku puzzle. I have in the past. If you search for Windoku on the channel, you will find there are some special rules about Windoku, or some special logic in Windoku that is important, but I don't know if it'll be needed for this puzzle. We'll find out. I'm going to restart this puzzle to restart my timer. Let's give this a shot. So there's a few cages in this that are forced, such as this 3-cell 6 cage, because you can't repeat digits in these cages because all of the digits in the cages see each other. Now, it is a normal rule in cage puzzles that the digits, in most cage puzzles, the digits can't repeat even if the cells don't see each other, but in this way they all do. But these have to be 3 different digits because they're all in the same column. But the minimum 3 different digits could be is 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3 sums to 6. So these must be 1, 2, and 3. That one can't be a 1. Now, we've got a similar thing down here with what can these be? The maximum that, because 24 is a high number, what's the maximum you can put in 3 cells is 7, 8, 9, and 7, 8, 9 is 24. So these must be 7, 8, and 9, and that one can't be a 9. Now, if this is a 7, 8, 9, here's what's going on. What is this 15 cage? Because there's only 2 ways of making 15. And that is, if I start, and often when you're working with a high value, you want to start with the highest digit and work down until you get repeats. So how do you make 15? Well, if I put a 9 in this cage, it would have to be a 9 with a 6. Now, I couldn't put a 9 here because 7, 8, 9 is looking up. So this would have to be 9 and 6. I can't use 7, 8 because there's an 8 in the box. So I can't use 8, 7, and the next option is 7, 8, which is the same as 8, 7. So I've repeated. So this must be 6 and 9. And I can now see, looking at often puzzles like this are symmetrical, the same thing is happening with this cage. How do you make 5? Well, 5 is a low total, so I would start with 1 and then go up. I could use 1, 4. But this is a 1, 2, 3, so I can't put a 1 here. It would be 1 and 4. The other option is 2 plus 3, and then I hit 3 plus 2. But I can't use that because this cell could be neither 2 or 3. So I can't use 2, 3 to make this total, and this must be 1 and 4. So now this cage here, and I could probably do it here as well, but this cage here, how do you make 12? Well, I can't use 9, 3 because I can't use 3 in the cage. I can't use 8, 4 because I can't use 4 in the cage. I could use 7, 5 and 6, 6. I can't do because I can't put 2 6s in the column, and I can't put a 6 in this cell anyway. So this has to be 5, 7. And now these cells can't be 1, 2, 3, 4. They get 6, can't be 7. So these become 6, 8, 9. And that one can't be a 6 because there's already a 6 in the box. Now I can probably do the same here. How do I make 9? Well, I can't use 1, 8 because I don't have an 8 in the column. I can't use 2, 7. I can't use 3, 6. So this becomes 4, 5. And now this is a triple, which is 1, 2, 3, because I've got 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. These are 1, 2, and 3. Interesting. Oh, 4 cage. 4 cage has been forced right from the start, and that would have given me this. Because how do you do 4? Well, I could do 1 plus 3. The next option would be 2 plus 2, which doesn't work. And then I hit 3 plus 1, which is the same as 1, 3. So this is 1, 3. So this can be neither 1 nor 3, because if I made this a 1, these would both be 3. If I made this a 3, these would both be 1. That's the 2, which makes that the 3 and that the 1. So what is this? How is that restricted? Because in a Windoku puzzle, what the rule of a Windoku normally is that the cells in these positions cannot repeat. But we don't have that rule here. Now, it may turn out that these digits don't have repeats, but it's not forced that these digits don't repeat. How do we do 5? We could do 1, 4 or 2, 3 here. How do we do this? 7. It can't be 1, 6. It could be 2, 5. It can't be 3, 4. So this is 2, 5. How do we do 5? We could do 1, 4. We could do 2, 3. Oh, 17. This is forced. This is 8, 9. This is the reverse of this. 17. The two largest digits are 17. So this is the 7. There's no 7 here. This is an 8, 9. The 7 looks back, making that the 5 and that the 7. This 5 cage, how do you do a 5 cage? Well, there's only 2 ways of doing a 5 cage, as I discussed down here, 1, 4 and 2, 3. And I can't make this 1, 4 because that cell can be neither 1 nor 4. This is 2, 3. And now I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 in this. So this is following the Windoku pattern down here. The 2, 5 looks across, making that the 3 and that the 2. The 2 makes that the 5 and that the 2. Now that, if this was 2, 3, this can't be 2, 3 anymore. There's only 2 ways of making a 5 cage, 1, 4 and 2, 3, and that cell can be neither 2 nor 3. So this is 1, 4. And the 1, 4 looks like making that the 3 and that the 1. So how do I do this 9? I can't use 1, 8. I can't use 2, 7. I could use 3, 6, and it would have to be 3 and 6. And if I did 4, 5... it would have to be 4 and 5. And I can't see why that can't be the case. 15. Not sure yet. This 1 is saying that's not the 1. This 2 is saying that's not the 2. Three in that row. Maybe, is it this 11? How do I make this 11? 9, 2 would work, but only in a very particular order. 8, 3 would work. No, I can't do 8, 3 because I can't put 3 in either of those cells. 7, 4. Actually, that could work, I think. And 5, 6 doesn't work. So they're the only possibilities there. 1 is in one of those 2 cells by Sudoku. There's no 3 in this 9 cage. So this can't be 1, 8 because there's a 1 in the box. It could be 2, 7. It can't be 3, 6, and it can't be 4, 5. This is 2, 7. So again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. All of these have no repeats in them, which is following the Windoku pattern. But as I said, it's not forced by the rules. It may just turn out to be that way. And if it does, then there's a whole heap of extra rules that can come into play. Or at least a whole heap of extra deductions that can come into play. So this is now a triple because I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 7 in the column. So these are 6, 8, and 9. This 13, it can't be 9, 4. It could be 8, 5. It can't be 7, 6. So this is 8, 5 because, yeah, it can't be 9, 4. I can't put a 9 in the cage. It could be 8, 5. It can't be 6, 7, 6. And 6, 7 is the same as 7, 6. So this is 5, 8. And that is important because of this 15 cage. Because there must be an 8 in this cage and there must be an 8 in this cage. So because of that, one of these is going to take up an 8 in column 6 or column 7, and this is going to place an 8 in column 6 or column 7. But in column 6 and column 7, I can only put one 8 in each of those columns. And one of them is going to be in that cage and one of them is going to be in that cage. And because I can only place two 8s in those columns, I cannot put an 8 in this 15 cage, which becomes 9, 6. The 9, 6 looks down, making that the 8 and that the 9, which looks up, making that the 5 and that the 8. This is now a triple, which is 1, 4, 7. That's not a 1 or a 7 because of the 2, 7 pair. That's the 4. And I can take 4 out of those. One, 2, 3. I'm not sure this is forced yet. The others are. If this is 4, 7, this is a Windoku. If this is 9, 2, I don't know what's happening. One, 4. Oh, this one also could have 5, 4 there rather than 3, 6. What am I missing in this row? Because I'm looking for the rows that have the least in them. 2, 4, 7. So this is from 2, 4, 7. And this is from 2, 4, 7. Two is in one of those two because this 2 sees all of those. The 2, 7 sees all of those and that 2 sees that one. 2 is in one of those two. Similarly, 2 is in one of those two. One is in one of those two. One of those 3. One of those 2. One of those 2. Eight is in one of those two. This was listed to me as an incredibly easy puzzle, so I think I'm missing something, unless people just assumed this was a window. Oh, the 9 says that's not a 9, and that's not a 9. I'm missing given digits, aren't I? This is a 6, 8 pair. What else is that doing? 9 is in one of those two, so that's not a 9, so that's not a 2. Oh, the 9 did that. That's 4, 7. Right. So this is 6, 9, and this is another Windoku window. Can I do the same here? This triple. 2, 3, 5. That's not 3. That's not 2. Huh. How blind am I? It's not that 6, is it? Okay. Have I missed something with the cages? Like, if this is a Windoku, I can start writing in digits, but I don't have proof this is a Windoku, do I? Like, I've got some evidence on these digits. But this is preventing that from being fully proven, I think. Is there a reason this can't be 4, 5? If this was 4, 5, this would be 4, 1, and I'm not sure what the problem would be. If this is a Windoku, I've got a lot of options, but that is not seeming to be forced. Okay, that 8 makes that a 6. Okay, basic Sudoku. That 6 makes that an 8, which makes that a 9, which makes that a 6. The 9 makes that 8, which makes that 9, which makes that 8. The 9 makes that 6 and that 9. Basic Sudoku. Okay. So this is a 3. The 5 makes that a 3, which makes that 2, which takes 2 out of there. Makes that not 2, that is 2. This is not the 9 anymore. So there must be 1, 2, 3. There must be a 5 in one of those two. I'm still not seeing how that's resolved. This isn't a 2 anymore. 2, 2 puts 2 up here. There's a where's 9 in this row? It's not in any of those, not in any of those. It's in one of those, but I can't put it in the 11 cage. That's the 9. So this is 2, 4, 5, or 7. Okay. These are 1, 3, 4, and 6. So this is 3, 4, 6. So where's 8 in this box? It's there. No, not all of them. Why does it do that sometimes? That's the 8. Which up here, oh, I've already got the 8. Right, that's not a problem. So this is 3, 4, 5, 6. There is a 7 in one of those two. No, that's not true. These are 1. There's a 6 in one of those two is what's going on. There's no 3 here. 8 is in one of those two. Nine is in one of those two. There's no 6 here. So 6 is in one of those two, because this can't be a 6, because that can't be a 3, which means that's not the 6. This is the 6. And this is 4, 5, or 7. These are 1, 4, or 7, so that's 1 or 4. Right, this box is missing 1, 4, 7, and that can't be a 7 because of that. So this is a 1, 4 pair. That's 6, that's 3, and now we've got Windoku. 1, 4, though, means that's not a 4. The 6 makes that the 3, which says that's not a 3. Now, can I solve this without Windoku, or do I have to explain Windoku logic? That will be an interesting thing to figure out, won't it? Because 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, there's no repeats in those. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, no repeats in those. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, no repeats in those. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, no repeats in those. If people just assume this is a Windoku puzzle, this would solve pretty quickly, I think. But I've only just proven it, I think. Maybe I'm wrong. Like, what are these 3 cells? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 7? I'm really not sure. Because everything's kind of down to pairs anyway. I think I've really dropped the ball on this one. I'm not going to blame the heat because it's currently 33 degrees Celsius in this room. Oh, the 3 is making that the 1, which makes that the 3, which makes that the 1. Got to put a 6 in one of those two. This is 1, 4, 7. That's 4, 5, or 7. So I've got to put a 6 in one of those two. This 1 is making that the 7, which is making that the 1, which is making that the 4 and that the 1. The 4 is looking across, making that the 1, taking 1 out of there. It really feels like I'm nickel and diming this puzzle. Not in a phenomenally good way. I think there's going to be a lot of people ridiculing my time on this one. The 4 takes 4 out of there, so this is 2, 5, or 7. Down here, I need to put a 3 right there. So these are 2, 5, 8. Huh. I do not recommend solving Sudoku in the middle of a heat wave. 4, 5, 6, 7. Well, that can't be a 7. Where is 7 in this box? Those two 7s are eliminating all of those. That's the 7, that's the 6. This is a 4 or a 5. The 7 looks up taking the 7 out of there. So this is 2, 4, 5. That's a 2, 4, 5 triple. That's the 7, which means there's no 7 there. This is a 2, 5 pair taking 2 out of there. The 4, 7 pair is not doing much, but I might be able to colour those. This is a triple though. 4, 6, 9. There's no 6 there. There's no 4 there. There's no 4, 6 or 9 there. That's the 4, that's the 9, that's the 6. 4 comes out of those. This becomes 5, 7. The 4 makes this the 5, making that the 4, making that the 2, that the 5, that the 4, that the 5. The 5 looks across, making that the 7 and that the 5. The 7 makes that the 4 and that the 7. The 7 looks back, making that the 2 and that the 7. The 7 makes that the 4, which makes that the 7. The 5 looks across, making that the 2, taking the 2 out of those. The 5, 8 looks up, making that the 2 and that the 5. The 5 makes that the 8 and that the 5, and that's probably been sitting there forever. And the 8 looks back, making that the 9, that the 8, and in this box I haven't placed the 4. 24 minutes. I think I dropped the ball on that one pretty hard. But it happens sometime. Now, if you're curious about Windoku, you can go to my homepage, use the little search symbol on the homepage, not the YouTube one, although you will find descriptions of Windoku puzzles there from other channels. Feel free to use other channels. But if you do it on my homepage, you will find me describing Windoku puzzles. I've solved probably a dozen of them on the channel at least. Some of them are quite tricky though, so up to you. But yes, this was a good one. I enjoyed this one as a cage puzzle. That was a lot of fun. Thank you, AnalyticalNinja. I enjoyed this one. Thank you everyone for watching. As much as I think I did quite slowly at this one, I definitely was let down. Probably should have done this one in a cooler room. Yeah, I had fun. Thanks everyone for watching. And as always, good luck with your solving.